I'm going to show you how to put together a wedding bouquet. I have a friend getting married and she is using fall flowers. She's getting married in October. So she picked out some flowers for me and I took a couple of them back and exchanged them and added some ivory in there. Wasn't sure if I was going to use them or not. But this is basically what I'm going to put together. I'll make do. First you want to prep your flowers. Go through and take a razor blade or scissors and cut the tags off. Now, if you're not sure if you're going to use it or not, maybe don't take them off yet. But I've taken them off of everything else except for maybe 1 or 2 stems of extra berries or something. But if you barely cut through the tag there and peel it off, you got to be careful because some of these stems, like the Natural Brilliance, they have a rubber coating over the wire. And if you cut through that, it exposes the wire, so you gotta be really careful about taking them off on some of those. Most stems are solid plastic, then they have wire on the inside, like these True Touch Ivory Ranunculus. They're all plastic and they all have a wire stem on the side. Most flowers have a thin wire, like a baling wire, that you can cut through pretty easy, but there's a lot of stems that are layered, like these berries, that sometimes you have to strip them down a little bit, cut layers at a time, and then rebuild them back up if you need them longer. But once you get all your stems, all of your tags cut off, all the pieces, you want to make sure you get all the little remnants taken off. They can be kind of stubborn sometimes, like this one's trying to be. You don't want to leave them on unless you're going to be covering it up, which probably will be covering it up. So, all right. Then you go through and you want to strip down a lot of your leaves in the bottom layers, like that, and save these. Don't get rid of them. You're going to also need wire cutters, good wire cutters, which I need a new pair. This one you can see, it's got thorns on it like real roses. You're going to cut all these off. You want your branch to be as smooth as possible when you're wrapping it. And as far down you go, depends on, you may want to remove that second one. Just leave your top layer of leaves and cut off all these little nubbies because you want a smooth surface. This one's cut off. Oh, this one still has some on there. Untangle those babies. Pull your leaves off straight off, leaving 1 or 2 of them, your top layers. Cut off all these little nubs here. This is so that whenever you wrap them together, they wrap together smoothly. You don't have a bumpy edge there to it. And you're going to do the same with this one here. Now when you've got a flower, you've got leaves that are lower like that, pull them off. And if you've got a flower on the bottom like this, cut that off too. Give yourself a smooth edge. You can always add that to it later on. Just kind of cut down that little nub there. You can see what I'm doing. I start at the top and I'm cutting it down so it's kind of smooth. These do have really fat stems and I like to trim them down a little bit because it adds bulk to the bouquet. So cut that down a bit. Now I may not use this bottom half, so I'm just going to leave that for now. And just keep trimming these down until I need it. Because I will add these back on it. Takes work sometimes, get these things cut down. You're just going to chip them away. It's always cut through the plastic and then the wire, and if the wire is really, really thick, then just kind of bend it back and forth and work at it. Cut off all the little nubs on this one too. You can hear that it's kind of thick there. Okay. Now I'm leaving. Oh, go ahead and cut it off. Got 1 more to go here on this one. Now I went through, the bride picked out calla lilies, and she picked out some stems like this that are all beads. They're really pretty fall beads. So I took and I stripped, these all have wires, and I pulled them out apart, separated them, and that gave me a bare stem to use to add to like some of my leaves here, like this strand here. Whenever you're cutting these apart, separate your branches and see where you're going to cut, because you want to leave them as long as possible, but give yourself a long branch here and then cut off these two here, cut off that single leaf and cut off this one here. Give yourself one long stem here to work with, and then cut your next one right here. That way it'll give you this one as a long stem. Then I took the pieces off that beaded type stem here, and I wrapped them together and I laid them side by side, and I have floral tape, green floral tape, and I laid them side by side, and I just started wrapping the tape around it. Wrap it really tight, and that gives you a length here to use. And I'm going to do one right here. I've got one, another piece. I'll show you. Now your floral tape is only sticky on the inside, so you make sure you get the right side. Well, it's always supposed to be sticky on the inside. Get the right side together and start wrapping it really tight in the very beginning, and then all the way down. If you wrap it too tight, you're going to pull that tape apart. This tape is not super strong. The strength is in how you wrap it. You kind of wrap it and then overlap the bottom half and back up again. Barely pulling on it, just enough to stretch it out. And it's kind of got a waxy finish on it, and it kind of leaves a gunky feel in your hands. But don't worry about that. When you're all done with your bouquet, you're going to wipe your hands off on a towel or something. So you're going to have a stem like this. Now on the calla lily bouquet, the calla lilies, I went through and wrapped each one of those berries that I pulled apart. They came in strands of 2 or 3 together. You can see that. See, there's 2 or 3. And I wrapped each one of those onto the top layer of my calla lily. I didn't want to do it on all the way down, just enough to cover up the stem of this, the little beads. Because you want the natural stem of your calla lily to show. But I'm going to start, once you get all your flowers prepped pretty much, I'm going to start with probably the 2 calla lilies together, like that in the middle. Now, sometimes you might want to try putting your bouquet together a little bit together, kind of layer it a little bit to see if you like how it looks. I'm going to then next put this berry stem, layer it in by here behind it. And then take another flower, put it kind of in the middle there next to it, kind of nestle it in there, kind of nestle it in. Then take a leaf strand, put it in here. You can see that leaf strand, kind of layer them. Then take your next rose, layer that in behind it. Excuse the cat meowing, I got a kitty in heat, I think. Just kind of layer them in here like that. Now I'm going to take one of my ranunculus. Now you want to go with your middle flower to be your highest flower. You kind of work your way down a little bit so you have a rounded bouquet. So then when you get around the other side, add another flower. Like if you've got 3 white flowers, you want to add, kind of keep an odd number of flowers. So I'm going to put this other ranuncula here behind him, so I kind of have a triangle shape looking, if you can see that. So once I do that, just keep layering on the flowers here. Layer on the flowers. I don't like that one next to that one though. So I'm going to put this one right there, because I've got my dark rust colors here and there. I'm going to do another one right here. So I've kind of got a triangle shape of those too. You can see what that looks like. And then I'm going to kind of layer these calla lilies. And I always turn my calla lilies so the petal part is flowing out. That way your flower bouquet is going to flow out a little bit in that direction. You kind of bend these a little bit as you go along too. And you can add more of your leaves. Okay, I'm going to add them right down here in the middle, this bottom half. It's really fall organic looking, so kind of add these around your bouquet as you layer it in there. So you kind of got it like that. Now I'm going to add a couple more lighter colored roses, the True Touch. of pull your flowers if you need to. Pull them up a little bit here and there just to see what, make sure you can see everything. Where you need to put things. As you get more experienced in doing this, then it's a lot easier. Like if you want to wrap it as you go. See how it's coming along there? Pretty nice. Now, you can see where you need more berries or more calla lilies. Just as you go along, just kind of layer them on. Keep going around the edges and bend it together. Layer and layer and layers. I'm going to do another layer of leaves here on the bottom like that. Add another calla lily here next to that one. Like that. I kind of turn them in different directions though, so they're not both facing together like that. And another one around this side here. And I bend the heads back a little bit. These calla lilies all have wires in them too, so bend the heads back so it kind of flows out. I'll put another one back here by the right ranunculus, like that. You can see it. So, and I'm not sure if I'm going to use those other berries or not. Bride gave me this berry to be lacquerberry stem, and I was thinking I was kind of going to use that in the back of my stems with my other ones. But I kind of want them clustered together. I think it kind of has a cool impact like that. So I'm just going to start wrapping it like that. Go through your bouquets and make sure all your flowers, you can see them all. Kind of pull them up if you need to, but you also at the same time you want to kind of be rounded. Make sure nothing's hiding in the leaves here. You can see this. So how does that look? You like that? So I'm going to, there was another leaf, couple leaves here that I did not get stripped off. I wasn't sure if I would need it or not, but it was down towards the bottom, so I'm just going to pull that off now. If you don't need them, pull them off. It's just going to add bulk. So, pull those off. Okay. Okay, looks good. Now you take your floral tape and start wrapping them together. Hold it really tight. You can take, actually, it's easier to take a wire and hold it at the top. And you don't have to keep that wire on there. Just kind of hold it together a little bit. Take it and twist it. So hold your bouquet in place. Hold it nice and snug in place while you wrap it. So, like so. You can see I've got a wire there. Okay, so I'm going to take my floral tape, start wrapping. At least I get around the edge to where it's holding up here a bit. Just wrap it, hold it tight and wrap, 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 wrap. You can go down a little bit. If you have to, move your stems in place in between your other stems, kind of nestle them in there together. And just wrap these a bit until they're going to hold by themselves before you take that other wire off. If you have a skinny wire, like a regular floral wire that's going to be skinny, you could probably leave it on there. But this one that I just happen to have handy, I usually don't leave them on here because I've been doing this long enough. I usually wrap it as I go. But this one is really bulky and heavy. It's kind of like barbed wire to me. So I'm going to take it off. Now that I've got those wrapped about 15 times or so. If you're not going to use the wire over, go ahead and cut it off. Try to cut it off. This is a heavy duty wire. Okay. It's all okay. Now I'm going to go back up a little bit. Now I'm going to probably add these little ranunculus buds back on there, but I'm going to have to prep them a little bit to add some wire because they're not quite long enough to hold in my stem here. And I'm probably going to add some more leaves around the side because if you can see, it kind of, you see a lot of stem in there. So I'm going to add some more leaves to it, but I wanted to get it in place, holding it in place. And then if I need to pull some up or down a little bit, then I'll do that. But for now, I'm just going to wrap that bouquet, hold it together, stems. Now if you've got wires showing, wrap your floral tape all the way down to where those wires are, or cut them a little bit short. Usually I will take and do the whole bouquet, the whole stem in floral tape, and then I will cover it up in ribbon. But I may leave some of these stems sticking out, depends on what the bride wants. But I'm definitely covering up these wires first, and then overlap, just hold it together. Overlap it, pull it, overlap it, pull it. Then, like that. Now once you get them wrapped to where you want them, that's when you start cutting. Usually your bouquet is going to have like maybe a 6 to 8 inch handle on it, stem. So you're going to start cutting one at a time. So try and keep them all the same height, same length, whatever you want to call it. Just do them one at a time. These calla lilies are a little bit harder to do. Might take 2 hands. It pays to have good wire cutters, which I'm overdue for a good new pair. Sears has a Craftsman wire cutters that actually has a lifetime guarantee. I'm going to go get me a pair of those one of these days. When I buy a new pair, that's what I'll do, because you can always take them in. They get dull, you can take them back in and get a new pair. What a deal, huh? So you cut, get them all the same length here. Now if you do a trailing bouquet, you use one of these things, but it's not meant for larger stems like these ranunculus or calla lilies. It's meant for small skinny stems, and you're going to have to glue them in there. Because if you're going to have it trailing down, you need something to glue it to, and you're going to have to cut your stems shorter. So people really don't use that, as they've kind of gotten away from the styrofoam bases pretty much. And if you do use a styrofoam base, you don't need one of those lacy collars, really. I find those at the store all the time. People put them on over the bouquets, and it's a pain to get it off. So don't do it. You don't need them. Those things are kind of gone to the wayside. Nobody uses them anymore. Just wrap your bouquet with ribbon and put a bow on, tie a bow onto it, and you're good to go. And then you can add 2 little keepsakes, something that means something to you. Like my cousin's daughter, I made her bouquet wrapped it with the tie from her deceased father. So you can do things like that if you want a little memento from a loved one. So now I've got these cut. There are a little bit longer stem, but you can always go back and little pieces here and there that are not quite as the same length. That's okay, as long as it's pretty close to it. They've got a good handle here. Then you got to go back and kind of shape your flowers a little bit. Bend them out. Nothing grows straight in the wild. So you're going to bend each one of these as if it grew like that. Kind of one stem at a time. All of them. Spread them out. Spread these berries out. See them? Spread them out. Spread them out. Bend them as if they're growing. Bend them, bend them. Take your leaves, do the same thing. And I had all these little berries on here. You can take 2. Something like on these little stems here. If you want something curly, take something like this. Something that's round, and curl your edges a little bit if you want some curl to it. Kind of adds a cool effect. I tell people to do that with Christmas stems a lot. Kind of gives it a cool, it's kind of cool looking. But if you do it with some, you got to kind of do it with most of them. So, all right, I'm gonna keep bending the stems out. Got more berries. Fluff them out so it's not all tight in there. You can see this as I go a little bit here. See where it's going. Let me see how it looks here. That one needs to be pushed in a little bit. It's a little too high up. It's covering your flowers. So that's a good thing to remember when you're doing flowers. If you are going to tape them as you go, make sure that nothing is getting covered up. See how it looks? Now you can go back, like I said, and add wire to your stems here and make them longer. And of course, I don't have any wire with me right now, but you would do that the same way you do the beaded berries and stuff. Whenever I took this apart, you're going to have a long wire right here, and you pull them apart, and you rewrap it. Then you just kind of layer them into the background here. Same thing if you're going to add more leaves, which I probably will. I'll just wrap them in, layer them all the way around so you've got an even coverage and leaves covering the stems here so you don't see the wires on the backside. Then once you do that, you can wrap your flowers. Oops, you want to make sure you trim that last thing down here. I've got a helper up here. Trim that stem down. I just poked down in there a little bit more. And then you're ready to wrap your bouquet with your ribbon. Now, I usually overlap my ribbon. Use your glue gun a little bit, overwrap it just to hold it in place, then wrap it around, tuck your corner, fold your corner in, glue it a little again, or stitch it. And if you want a bow, you can make a bow with a wire and tuck it down inside your foil tape. So that's how you make a bouquet. So I hope you try it. It's pretty easy, it's fun, it's kind of fun to say I made this, and you can too. Bye.